All right, everybody. I don't know what's going on right now in the Nikkei, but I just got in long, and oh man, things are starting off fast. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get out of a couple contracts here. I'm long the Nikkei, up a quick $2,300. Wow. Wow, look at this market. Look at this market. Let's get out. Let's see if I can get out of one or two right here. Let's see if I could do that. Wow. I mean, 69 contracts coming in at the bid. 69 contracts coming out at the bid. We go ahead and do this. Give me just 1 second while I get a few things set up. The market's moving fast. Everything's going fast, and I need to get a few things set up before we get started. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. As always, in the YouTube chat, there is our Top Step risk disclosure. Everything you see is for educational purposes only. I talk about it every single night. Read that risk disclosure. I got triggered into a long on the Nikkei, and we're seeing some crazy volatility coming into these markets. I tried to close out a couple right there in those 800s. We're running, selling right back down towards these 705s. Let's just keep an eye out on this trade. I mean, this market is moving fast. I do see that we have some news, or we have a Bank of Japan's. We have some speakers, and so most likely they are moving the market. I'm not surprised with this volatility because we have those speakers. And yeah, this is going to be something to pay attention. Obviously, I wish I would have been able to close it out there. That's one of the difficulties about running a class and running a stream and then trying to trade as well. Things don't go always as smooth as you want, but guess what? Knock on wood, we don't need that buffering. We don't have the buffering in the YouTube. So that is a big win, right? If there's no buffering, that is a win in and of itself. I'm going to actually go ahead and widen this up a little bit, give the market some room to see what we could do. Taking a look at these highs, I want my stop loss tucked under right near those highs. And yeah, seeing some volatility here in the Nikkei to start the slow market session off. Not slow markets, that's for sure. That's for sure. With the way this price action is going, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for us to rally. I was kind of looking for we would have hit my take profit. I was a little slow to get out. Maybe we could come back and make a new high. I'm not sure. Maybe 39,000 could be a target. Let's just see this thing play out. And yeah, how's everybody's day today? How did everybody do today? It was a very interesting one. And yeah, keep an eye on that. We could go through our regular rapid fire, whichever the class prefers. Let me get back into what I am. Back into rhythm. What was the spike for? I'm not sure. It's probably, I think it was speakers. There's probably a speaker. Someone said something. You could take a look at this Trader Hub, and there's some speakers, obviously. Maybe that's why that spike was. Not really sure. It could have been, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if we could keep going up here. It was up until it was down. Yeah, it was, right? We could probably zoom in and take a look at that. We could take a look at that move. Happened really quick, right? We went up. I got triggered in as I was getting on stream. And then we got all the way up here to these 840s. And then we just sold right back off towards my entry into these 720s. I want to see this market continue to build some momentum and push near these highs and continue this bullish trend that we've been starting today. You can see, they had that massive sell-off. Let me go over this trade. Why don't I? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'll kind of go over this trade, what my thought process is, what I'm looking at, why I got into it, because that's part of it, right? Part of that. So take a look at this support. We had a lot of support right here back in the middle of December. We sold off pretty hard, And you guys seen that massive sell-off, and we came down, we consolidated, and we did just break through during the New York session. We broke through this area of resistance, and it became very bullish. We sold off. You know, this was resistance. Resistance became support. And I was looking for a way to buy this. This is the Nikkei, the Japanese market. And yeah, tonight, I mean, we've seen some volatility tonight. You can see where we opened up here at 5 p.m. Central. We've had a very massive rally, right? We see some very wild swings here in the Nikkei. We were up 1%, and then we sold off. And then we sold all the way off down here, which is, I mean, you know, of course, the market could always move further. But yeah, this was a one in, well, when I was looking at it, we were down about 1%. And that was a decent move back down. And so what I like to do is, as we were looking for, I was looking for some type of a 3-bar reversal, some type of buying opportunity down here. I didn't get the best entry price, but that's okay. I was looking for an area to buy, and we finally, you know, reversed. And on that nice spike, it did trigger me into a long. And then obviously you can see where my stop loss is. Looking for this market to continue, and buyers are in control right now, looking for this market to continue and have a little bit of a leg up. I'm probably going to close out of 1 or 2 contracts if we could push up into these 800s again. Yeah, let's take a look at what these other markets are doing. You can see the NASDAQ. Man, beautiful buying opportunity, the NASDAQ. Keep an eye on that trade for me, everybody. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. You know what? I'm not going to risk it. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ as soon as I'm done with this trade. I need to focus. I'm not going to distract myself. No excuses. No excuses from the distraction. Here we go. We are going to continue to see if we can finish this trade up and allow this market to take profit. Here we are, 10s, 15s. Let's see if we can bounce up towards these highs. I'd like to close off of some of this. And then we can talk about the other. We'll have plenty of time to talk about these other markets once I'm done with this Nikkei trade. He's looking really promising there for a minute. When I seen that big spike, and I got really excited. I was excited to start the stream as I was clicking start. Like really, right there, right as I click start the stream, the Nikkei just shot up, and I was like, "Oh man, here we go." Taking the gloves off right at the start of class. But here we are. You can see over here, I'm watching the bid and ask. This is the bid and ask, hovering right around these 815s, 810. Let's see if we could, push through these highs. It looks like we have a high of 845. Let's watch it. Let's see if we could. I'm going to tighten up my risk just a little bit. Have my stop loss at 615, and I'm going to close off using join ask. This is one where we could continue to see a lot of volatility. Come on, we need to push through these 820s. I don't want it to slow down. That would be the worst thing to happen for now that we're watching the Nikkei. Then the market just starts to slow down and flatlines, because we've seen so much volatility right at the top of the hour, right at the start of the class. A nice juicy long. Yeah, and you can see I have water in my mouth. Talking. I need to get back into the rhythm of talking so much every single night. The Nikkei was waiting for me. It was waiting for me to start class, and then it would just go. Yeah, we're kind of just slowed down right here around these 38,800s. And you can see this is where we opened, right? You can see this is where we closed, and this is where we opened tonight, right at 5 p.m. Central. This is basically it. This is a support and resistance zone. You can see where it was resistance before. Obviously, it became resistance on that spike up, and it's becoming resistance again. And yeah, if we can break through this, then maybe we could get a nice leg up. I don't know where we could go for that. Maybe trail it up. I want to be able to close a couple contracts out. that is what happened to me at 39.080. Staying this trade. It really did slow down. All that fun price action to start the stream, and now it's kind of just slow, right? Back to slow markets. Back to slow markets. Yeah, I might just get out of this one. I don't want to see any slowdown. Obviously, when you're in a long, you don't want to see this happen. You kind of just wanted to see that momentum go, like how we seen this momentum up here on the break. We failed to hold anything above those 800s. But we'll see. We shall see. Dakota, the chart looks spotty. Would a longer time frame help? Yeah, correct. You can see the spots, the gaps, because sometimes the bid and ask is different than the last fill price. And so correct. You typically a higher time frame will help with that, or even using like a 100 tick chart or something of that nature. Well, this isn't what we wanted to see. I got all excited to start the stream, watching this market jump up, 100 point, or 100 Nikkei, right? Was that 20 ticks? I mean, as soon as it starts the stream, I got triggered in, and we were up at these 840s, and I got pretty excited to start slow markets in such a fast way, and now we're just right back at the entry. Market slow, and that was very anticlimactic. I mean, in the last 5-10 minutes. Coffee puff. Don't trade the Nikkei. Practice that discipline. Process over profits. Ooh, and now that I said that, the poll is over. My Topstep VIP team name is now being finalized. It looks like it's going to be Pop Squad, so profits over, or process over profits. So Pop Squad. My VIP team name is Pop Squad, POP Squad, process over profits. You guys voted for it. That's what it's going to be. I sent it off to the team. Everything's being finalized. So yeah, I mean, that's, I say it every single night, and that's going to be it. Pop Squad, not prop. POP. Pop Squad. Process over profits. And, yep. How would you choose the team? It's not it's random. I don't choose the team. I wish I could. I mean, there's a whole bunch of hoops that you have to jump through and all that. It's a whole lot easier. Everyone's been signing up, putting their name down for the drawing and the 50. It's not going to be chosen by me. And so everyone who has been part of those drawings on Topstep TV, it's going to be that. So I'm excited. I don't know who's going to be on my team. I always told them I prefer everybody in my slow markets class, and yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for it. A trading card draft would be sick. When do the drawings begin? Oh, I believe they might have gave a date during the day show. Stay tuned. Whenever I get information, I'll let everybody know. Yep. It's going to be for 50 traders for the VIP. Let me see if I have any more details that I could give you. I don't have the inside scoop, right? I can't give away anything that I don't already know, right? I know that. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, I mean, Topstep TV, and you know what? To be honest, if you guys tune in to Topstep TV on the day show, they know you'll find out first. Yep, you will find out on the day show tuning into Topstep TV before you do anywhere else. Before you, to be honest, sometimes even before you get an email, before you get it in this class, that's usually the case. TopstepTV. 500 will be picked from about over 5,000. Is that right? I mean, it makes sense, right? 50 traders per team. 50 traders per team. Yeah, I don't like how this market's selling off. That's frustrating. Not liking this at all. That's got freaking excited to start this class off, and yeah, nope. I thought it was going to break out, so I moved my stop loss. I think I might move it back down to where it was and just continue class. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to move my stop loss back to where it was and just continue class as usual. All right. Now the question is, where was my stop loss? My stop loss is an area of support. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is my original stop loss, I believe, was like right there. I think it was off this pivot. All right, well, there it is. I'm going to leave this trade alone, and let's go ahead and finish going through class. Let's get back to the regular session. Very anticlimactic there. And give me a second while I get this set up. Whole lot of nothing. All right, NASDAQ, let's go through our regular rapid fire. And if the Nikkei moves, shout out. I mean, it was up, it was down, it was consolidating, and yeah, that was a whole lot of nothing. That's an overnight trade for me, looking for the market to break out and hold a few contracts. But let's take a look at the daily on the NASDAQ. Regular rapid fire, scheduled. So take a look at the daily on the NASDAQ. Something's interesting. We had a very big day today. We had a very big, close of today. I was putting this out during the New York session when I was on with Fast Markets. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. We have these big pivot lows, right? These nice big pivot lows. And sure enough, we made another one. We made another one right there. And when we were down there, I think I was even on the 4-hour chart when I was on with Hoag and the team. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. That was, I was telling Hoag this. I was like, wow. With the power of hindsight, I need to bring that up with him tomorrow morning as well. I mean, it's hard, right? It's hard to buy it there, especially when like the market's selling off. Like how do you find yourself to buy it there, especially when the market's selling off? Well, with hindsight, sure, it's easy. You could tell the trades that I was taking today were to the long side, right? So all the trades that I took today was to the long side. I was wanting to hold a trade for a swing trade. The market was pretty volatile. I was wanting to get into a good position down here and hold a trade for a swing trade, but the market was just it was difficult. We didn't just break out and reverse. We went up and sold off, and I'll go through it here in just a little bit. But yeah, beautiful example. This is what I was looking for. We did make a run down here to this 700 level last night. What I was looking for, what we was talking about, right, was this nice sell-off. We had that sell-off. We had the break, and then as we started to zoom in into a hourly chart. So as we zoomed into an hourly chart from last night, let me see if I can remember, where were we at last night? Hourly chart. I think it was the break of these 800s, correct? Yeah. Let me zoom in. So the break of these 800s last night was kind of what I was looking for. And yeah, remember that last night trade that we would have had set up, right? Where guess what? We broke that. And sure enough, after we broke it, it was down all the way to 700. We sold all the way. We actually hit 690s. What was the low? It was 695. 695 was the low right there. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. We bounced off those 695s and it was an immediate bounce. What's that low right here? I'm just looking at some technical. This is an hourly chart and I'm just going through some of these technicals. 670, 680. But anyway, we bounced, we consolidated. I tried to get into a long. I got into a couple decent longs down here, But yeah, as I was saying, I wanted to get into a long. I wanted to hold the trade for a while too, where I was like, I want to get into a long. I wanted to hold it into like a swing trade, right? So a long and then a swing trade. And then if we take a look at a 15-minute chart, you can see what I was referring to. Let's take a look. So on a 5-minute chart here on the NASDAQ, these were the trades I took. If you guys remember, it was a 3-bar reversal right here, and we just rallied. We rallied really hard. I think it was like 100 and something points off of that. And this is one where I said, wow, this is a very nice bounce. We had that 4-hour trend line. Everything's looking really good. This is a trade that I want to hold for a lot longer. But you know what? Market had different opinions, a different opinion, and it just completely sold off. I got stopped out, and I said, well, dang it, move on to the next. And then we got into another long in the New York session, and this was the consolidation right here. And, you know, we broke out. I took profit, and we sold right back down. And it looks like during the rest of the day, we kind of just rallied. The rest of the day, it was just kind of rally, consolidation. And then going into the last 10 minutes of the New York session, we rallied even all the way up. Going through, we didn't finish 20. What did we close? Almost 20,990. And then as we open up at 5 p.m. Central, we gapped up. We got all the way up to 21,080s. And this is quite the rally off the low that we made. Where's Sunday's open? If we take a look at Sunday open, Sunday's close, we are officially above Sunday. We're officially above Sunday. I mean, these 20,990s. And what does that mean? I mean, do we continue? Do we continue this bullish this bullish move? Is that a fair thing to say? Is this bullish? Let me get this so you can see these charts a little bit better. Is this bullish? Chop my accounts to death. I mean, I can make a case for both sides, to be honest, right now. Is this something that we should pay attention to? You can see this. This is a 5-minute chart. Is this something to pay attention to, where maybe we get a sell-off and a continuation down here towards these 900s, where we had this obviously you could see this nice rally, and now we just had another nice rally. And do we see a continuation or a sell-off back down here? Anybody? Guesses? Thoughts? I love your content. Nikkei, let's pull it up. I did get stopped out of the Nikkei. Minus $4,600. Minus $4,600 on the Nikkei. Man, that was a miserable trade. That was a miserable trade. I got so excited on the Nikkei. Let's take a look. Let's pull up the Nikkei. Look at that. I got so excited. I thought that was going to be a nice winner. But nope. Went down. Smashed me. Oh, well. I mean, what can you do? What can you do on that? That was... I should have just taken profit, huh? Nikkei is not at entry level yet. It sits lower. I mean, no, to me that was the entry. This was the entry. Where I got in at, I'm happy I got in at. I got in before the move even happened. You could see here, I got in on this pivot. I got in right here, and we kept going. My mistake right here, I think, was just not taking profit. I should have just taken profit. That's plain and simple. Should have taken profit when I had the chance. But I was really looking to target up higher, right? And this is the big conversation. This is the big debate that traders always go through. Is if your entry, I want to maybe we could walk through and talk through this. Is that maybe we could do that? So here's this. And this is where I get a lot of crap from, and I don't mind. I don't mind. I missed my exit because of class. No, I didn't really. I don't think I did. Because Here's the way I view it. So this is my entry. I think it was 720, and my stop loss was down here, right? My stop loss was somewhere down here. And what I'm looking for is two things. Yeah, I could say I maybe could have closed out of one. I was looking at the 5-minute chart. Closed out of one up here for take profit for one, a few contracts. Long 5, could have closed out a couple contracts here, but I was really looking for a bigger move. I was looking for a bigger move in terms of risk reward, because if this was my risk reward, it was upside down. Like this is an upside down risk reward, and it wouldn't work out. To have my stop loss down here or even down here, the risk reward's not even 1-to-1. I would have really needed the market to break out and keep my stop loss at these 620s. But my original stop loss is down here, and in no way would I have an upside down 2-to-1 risk reward. I would need at least a 1-to-1, and this is a trade I hold overnight. This is definitely a trade that I would hold overnight. But now here we are continuing to sell off in the Nikkei. Like, look at this move. We're down 1.6%. 1.6%. And even just over the last, 5, 10, 20 minutes, we are down 0.8. We're down 0.8 over the last 20 minutes. 0.8%, 320. So, like, this is... Obviously, the move was actually the opposite of this. I was looking for us to come back up and test, but we didn't. We're selling off pretty dang hard in the Nikkei. Was there anything else? Nothing. Just speakers. Whole lot of nothing going on other than selling off. Let me look at a different time frame. I want to see the hourly chart. Yeah, as soon as we broke through it, straight down. This might be a free fall down, back down towards these 300s. We might even come down here and test this. I wouldn't be surprised if we could come down and test this. These 38,300s is very possible. 38,300s are very possible. Let's take a look. Is the NASDAQ following? What's going on with the NASDAQ? NASDAQ's really not moving, right? NASDAQ's holding. NASDAQ's continuing to hold. It's a lot more bullish. I never look at correlation too much to say, well, the NASDAQ's holding and then Nikkei's just selling off. Nikkei's tanking. We're seeing a lot of, look at this volatility coming in. We're seeing a lot of volatility in like tonight. Look at it. Will there be a YouTube live chat integrated in Topstep X platform sometime by chance? I'm not sure out of Stockfish. Is your name a play on Stockfish, a chess engine? Dakota, how much do you think you've made on the Nikkei during slow markets in the last year? Alexander, That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know how much I've made on Nikkei specifically over the last year. I couldn't tell you on the exact markets. Oh, you also work at a fish restaurant. Okay. Stop loss might be a good entry tonight. Oh, I know. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking that, String Boy, where what's been my that's been the theme of the 2025. Stop loss being the entry. My stop loss was here. And I think that's where it was. It was somewhere right here. You guys seen where I put it. But that might have been a better entry. I mean, you know what? I still like this entry. That was the entry for me. That one was, I like this being a better entry than this one. This is definitely a better entry to me because look, we were bullish. Take a look at this trend. Have a sell-off, look to buy a pullback, and we had some type of event spike, whether it was a speaker or something going on in Japan. And sure enough, let's see. I was up. I think I got in at 720, And so I was up. Yeah, not enough. Not enough. We'll see. We'll see if my stop loss was a better entry. But as of right now, this is looking very heavy. The Nikkei could move. Trust me, when I say the Nikkei can move, if you've ever traded the Nikkei, which is the Japanese market, you will know the Nikkei can be very volatile and it can move a lot. It can move where look at this. I mean, it's a volatile market. I don't recommend traders doing it if you are brand new, if this is your first time trading. The Nikkei is not for you. Now, let's move on to other markets. I don't want to focus on the Nikkei because of that specific reason. Let's take a look at crude oil. Let's take a look at the daily. This is the daily on crude oil. Now, if this wasn't the trade, take a look at this. We went up. We hit $79 a barrel. I'm looking at that $80 a barrel as I was referring to last night. $80 a barrel is it in the books? Maybe, possibly. That could very well be part of it, where we see $80 a barrel, sooner rather than later. That is quite the move. Can we see more? Yes, I think that's a possibility. Once again, this was basically the trade of the 2025 where we were making higher lows. And we just broke out and we continued. We're hitting these $75 a barrel target, then 77. Now let's see if we could hit 78 or $80 a barrel. Not much in terms of tradable price action. If we zoom into an hourly chart, I'm not seeing anything in terms of a tradable price action. It's a little choppy. Maybe if we have a bit of a sell-off, kind of like what we did here, for an opportunity to buy a pullback, then that could be the case. Until then, I don't want to be a seller of this market. This market is too strong to sell. And, it's headline driven. Any little news event, any little headline can definitely push us much, much higher. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is selling off. Gold's selling off a little bit. And this might be a buying opportunity in gold. Anybody? Thoughts? Is this a buying opportunity on gold or not? Because this is looking similar to this, right? Look at this, where we had this nice rally and then followed by a sell-off. And now we had a little bit of consolidation and a little bit of a, trying to find some support here. And so this is actually looking similar to what we're seeing now, right? This is very similar, where if we take this, are we seeing something that's happening there is now happening right now? Would that be fair to say? Maybe. It's so hard. It really is. So hard here in gold. It's for a while we've been consolidating in this area, and do we really see that changing very often? You could take a look and we could start to zoom in, and there could be a reason to say, you know what, this was resistance, and it's becoming resistance again, and what if we sell back into this range? What if we sell back into this range and we see these 2650s, 2640s come back into play? So hands off. This is a decision zone where if we do hold a support, we could see it move back up. But after the last two tries, right? 1, 2, I'm hesitant. Take a look at this one too, right? Like it's copy paste 3 times. 1, 2. Is this now number 3 where we sell off? We have a little bit of a bounce, and then we continue. We sell off, have a little bit of a bounce, and then continue. And then is that what we're seeing again tonight, where we sell off, have a little bit of a bounce, and then continue, right? That's a hard decision to make, right? And that's what we have to do as traders, is to try and make those hard decisions in this type of a in the market, right? We manage our risk. We determine which direction and how we want to trade and manage risk. But this is definitely a decision zone. And the last times we were here, it did not pan out too well for the buyers anyway. NASDAQ starting to roll over finally. We are at this level of resistance. So maybe that's going to be something to play. Maybe the NASDAQ is just going a little bit slower than the Nikkei, right? Maybe we could have a push back down to this 20,900 level. This is the hourly chart. 3-bar reversal on the hourly chart is just getting triggered in. Maybe fill this gap. There's this gap right here, right there, where we could fill this. What is that? How big of a gap? 20 points. Yeah, we could fill it. We did just break down. What's Nikkei doing? Is Nikkei just continuing to sell off? Not doing too much. It's a juicy gap. Someone says, do I own any Bitcoin? No, I do not. But we can take a look at it. We could take a look at Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Just its usual self? Bitcoin's doing the same thing it's been doing, right? It's being volatile. It's just consolidating. I mean, to be honest, maybe we go back up and test 100,000 again, because why not? Why would we not want to just come up and test 100,000? And yeah, why? I mean, well, look at this. This is a 6% rally in 4 hours, or in 1 day. This is just, yeah. I've started to give up a little bit, thinking about day trading Bitcoin. I think it's just not worth it for me to deal with the stress or deal with figuring out Bitcoin like I have, like, say, the NASDAQ or crude oil or gold. I mean, it's so volatile. If I'm ever going to touch Bitcoin, I don't mind talking about it and maybe looking at the technicals, but yeah, it has to be below 88,000. I want it below this level, and it might, I don't know. I looked like it was going to go down there today, and we never did, right? We just bounced off this level. So I don't know. We shall see. We'll never know. Let's see what happens. Let's take a look at these other ones, and then we'll get to some questions. We will definitely get to some questions. NASDAQ is filling the gap. Is the NASDAQ starting to fill the gap? Yeah, we'll watch the NASDAQ. I don't think there's anything else going on. Nikkei's probably continuing to sell off, which it is. What a sell-off. And let's go back to the NASDAQ, and we will watch. We'll watch to see if we could fill this gap while I get to some questions. Ooh, someone's saying, let's see. 1 second. Okay, Coach, I usually trade the NASDAQ. Do you think it's a good idea to see other markets like the Nikkei, crude oil, or gold, or master the NASDAQ, then move to other types of equities? Headwing, to me, and my opinion only, is it is better to focus on one market. I truly do believe it is better to focus on one market, get good at it, get consistent, and then you can continue to trade that. And if you have time, then possibly explore different markets. But focus on one, get consistent at one, and then look to explore. And I did get confirmation. There are a total of 10 VIP teams. 10 VIP teams. 2 teams are going to be chosen each day. So beginning on the 27th, depending of this month. So on the 27th, let me pull up a calendar. Let's see if I can pull up a calendar. Let's see if this will work. Okay, so on the 27th, it looks like it is a Monday. There will be 2 teams chosen. Picking, what is it? Confirm this for me if you could, Andrew. 50 traders per team. And then the very next day, there'll be another 2 teams chosen. And then another 2 teams chosen. And another 2 teams chosen. And it looks like that's 2 teams per day until there's a total of 10 teams. And there's 50 traders per team. So that's going to be a huge week for everybody, right? Top Step Trading Leagues teams are going to be chosen. It's going to be 50 per team, which is 500. And there's going to be 500 traders here at Top Step going to be joining VIP teams. And it's going to be a big week. That's like a Super Bowl week for us here at Top Step. I mean, that's big. Traders are going to be watching, tuning in. Like I said, Pop Squad for my team, process over profits. And yeah, here we are. We haven't filled this gap completely. It's not filled. They post a link during the day. Yep, they do. My problem is I find it hard to add when I see the market going in my direction. How do you add so much without emotions, Dakota? I mean, it depends. I mean, you watch this Nikkei one. I got all in at 5 contracts. And if you watched me trade during the day show, I was all in 5 contracts. I've been doing just all in, all out lately, or all in and then I'll scale out. And it's been 5 contracts. 5 contracts on this NASDAQ primarily. NASDAQ. I've been trading primarily the NASDAQ, not the Nikkei. Well, tonight I traded the Nikkei and got spanked by this sell-off. I missed that one. Strategy for trading the Nikkei. I have a second entry long at 884. Going through this, yeah, profits over profit. Yeah, process over profits. Okay, depending on the day. If we're competing, it might be profits over process one day. Can I explain the 3-bar reversal? Yeah, I'll have to just Google it, and then I'm going to make a video on the way that I view the 3-bar reversal, but it's no different than what you could Google on what a 3-bar reversal is. It's one of the simple technical patterns. It's just 3 candlesticks, and they're reversing. Think we will pop after the gap fill? I don't know. I do not know. But, I mean, we might not even fill. Will we fill this gap completely? We're almost there. The gap fill is just, 10 points away. What do you look for after the gap fill? I mean, what I typically look for is there's 2 key points of a gap, right? We want to see consolidation or support and resistance at the key levels, right? Where's the gap fill? Is there going to be a key level of support and resistance? Where's it going to be at? And these are not really precise in terms of that. You can see there's a lot more support right here, right? Where this was resistance and it became support. And so is the gap fill, are we going to find support before we get there? And now this is like threading needles now because it's the NASDAQ. This is a zone. I'm not going to argue over 10 points. 10 points can be a drop in the bucket for the NASDAQ. But this is a nice support and resistance zone, and this is technically the gap, right, from right there to where we opened, right? We opened right there, and when we opened, we did fill some of it, right? We did fill some of that gap right there, and so we didn't finish filling all of it, which is going to be this part, and so I don't really put too much thought into the gap in terms of exactly how I get in, exactly where I get out. What I look at is, okay, before we fill the gap, sometimes we see some support right where we started it, right where we opened up at 5 p.m. And you can see we found some support. As soon as we start to break down, then typically I look to find some support either at the fill or maybe at the next closest level. And so I like to watch where the market goes and then how it reacts when it gets to these levels. Remember, I shared that risk disclosure, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the chat one more time. If I'm looking to buy this market on a pullback, then I will wait for it to get to, say, this is just an example, this zone, right? And once we get to this zone, then I would look for some type of reversal pattern. I would look for some way to buy the market based off my strategy, whether it's a 3-bar reversal or a consolidation and then a breakout, or on a very rare occasion, just buy it for just when we get there, right? So there's a few ways to enter. If you're going to get into, say, 3 contracts, maybe you could do one of each. Maybe you could just buy it when we get there, and then you could buy another one when we start to consolidate, and then you buy another one when we start to reverse. I mean, there's many ways that you can enter into the markets. How do you deal with drawdown? The same way I deal with profits. You guys see, I took a loss in the Nikkei tonight. I take a loss all the time on TopstepTV. That's part of it. I mean, I'm basically break even for the past. I think I'm break even this year for 2024 or 2025. I'm break even. Yeah, 2025. I'm right around break even. I might be slightly up. I'm not sure. But same way, and just process over profits. Place a trade, follow your process, close the trade, right? Place the trade, follow your process, close the trade. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And then over a period of time, you will do your analytics. Your statistics will tell you whether you're profitable or not, and then you make adjustments. Peter, I have not looked at XRP. No loss, no game. I mean, I've been in. Oh, let me think. 2024. So I've been officially trading this account for 1 year at Topstep, and I have 350,000 in it, plus or minus, depending on the day, right? If I have a good day, it's plus. If it's a bad day, it's minus. Right now, it's at like 500 or 351,000. Let's just say 351,000, and I have been in a $40,000 drawdown. I think 3 times in 2024, maybe 4 times. So once in spring, once in, I think, around August, July, and then another $40,000 to $45,000 drawdown in December. And I'm not out of the drawdown yet. I'm still in it by 30,000. I'm still $30,000. And when you're in a drawdown, it's just like the markets, right? Not just like the markets, but if you could think of a drawdown as a pullback, right? So if we look at say a 15-minute chart, or even if we look at a higher time frame, like a daily, for example, in theory, if we look at this chart, and if this was someone's equity curve, it's pretty good, right? The equity curve of this trader is going up and to the right, and that's what everybody wants to see their equity curve do. I mean, that's the idea, like equity curve, and the idea is to make money. The equity curve is going up and to the right. However, from going to point A to get to point, say, B, even though you could draw a straight line to get from point A to point B, it's not that simple. You're going to have fluctuations like the market does. For me, $45,000 drawdown, maybe a $30,000 drawdown, maybe a $50,000 drawdown, and then another drawdown. I think that is the reality that as traders and as even investors or all of that, that we go through. Davil, yes, that's correct. I actually took out 189 from NinjaTrader. Yeah, 189 from the Ninja. Whatever the total is, it's like for 540,000, depending on the day. Like I said, it fluctuates, but yeah, you need to look at your equity curve like this. You are going to have ups, you are going to have downs, and we need to realize that when we get into a drawdown, it's not a straight recovery. Sometimes it's okay to have, maybe you have a nice recovery like this, right? Maybe you do. That would be very, very nice, where you get into a drawdown. I'm talking about an equity curve, okay? Now just imagine this is an equity curve. You get into a very bad month. You have a bad month, you have a bad week, and you're in a $45,000 drawdown. I've been there, done that. And then you have a great 1 or 2 days, and then you struggle, and then it's just a small grind just to get back to break even, right? Because where you were, and this is an equity curve. I'm giving this as an example for an equity curve. If this was an equity curve, okay, what we could do is probably do this. Yeah, look at this. If this was an equity curve, imagine that. This is, at the time, this is your equity curve, and you start to lose money. You start to lose money, and you could lose money really quick, but then have to realize it will take time for you to recover. It's not done in just one day. Very rarely is it done in one day. And so it does take time to recover from your losses. And you can imagine sometimes it might take a while, and it's the ups and the downs. And you can imagine if this was an equity curve during this period of time, you might feel like crap, right? Like, man, every single time I'm almost out of the hole, I end up losing it again, and then maybe something changes and you start trading really well, and then it happens over and over and over again, like time after time, so often in equity curves. I mean, you can imagine this, right? Like if this was an equity curve, all this time that a trader's in drawdown, you don't just get out of it in one day. It takes time. It's a grind. It is what it is. That's the reality that we live in. And you could do this on so many different equity curves. And I can imagine what the risk team goes through and what the risk team watches and manages. And the goal is just to stay consistent. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. You're going to have negative days. And yeah, anybody would want a nice equity curve that looks like this. It's going to have all those ups and downs, but unfortunately, a lot of traders don't see it like that. A lot of traders do not see it like that. It's hard to see it like that sometimes. I get it. I understand it. I go through it myself as well. And yeah, that's it. Did we fill the gap? No, we didn't even fill the gap. Oh, did we? Close enough. Is that close enough to filling the gap? I would say yeah. I'd say that's close enough to filling the gap. Dakota, what account size did you start with the Top Step? A 3-bar reversal. Where'd I lose that? What account size did I start with? I started with a 150K account, and then yeah, I was so I started off with one 150K account, and I got that funded. I got into an XFA in January. No, the end of mid-January of 2024. So last year, mid-January. And then I decided to, I had a good conversation with MP on fast markets where I did not believe in copy trading. I really did believe that copy trading was just BS. I didn't believe in that because you're not going to be doing that in a live account. And I would say that if you call your broker and say, yeah, I want to open up 3 separate accounts and just copy them, that was just unheard of for me. And then I started talking to a lot of traders in the Discord, and they're like, yeah, you could copy trade, and it's not about the fact that you could put more risk. It's more about the emotions, because I can make $200 a day just okay. But then if I try and, increase my size, it's psychologically hard for me to look at the P&L swing, $900, $800, or something bigger, right? Then you start to become emotional. And they love copy trading because when they copy trade, they could still visually see, hey, I made $200 today. But in reality, if they copy trade 3 accounts, they've actually made $600. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe there's something there, and maybe that makes sense, right? Is if you can't deal with emotions of watching the P&L swings and then scaling up in a single account, then okay, that's something there. And I tested it out, and they're true. It is true. I agreed with it, and I like that. I'm like, well, that's very helpful for new traders because it's easy to make $200 a day, but then there's that mental and that psychological hurdle from making $200 a day to making $2,000 a day just because of watching the dollar amounts, right? Even though all you do is, instead of trading 1 contract, you trade 10, and you just follow the same exact process. It's the same exact process. And yeah, it really is. And it was interesting. So I started 3 accounts, and I went through that whole entire process. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's fun. It's easy. It's in a simulated environment, because to me, it's easier on a simulated environment because it's not real. It's simulated, and you get unrealistic fills, and you can get in and out of the markets a lot easier, and it's a whole lot less stress. It's very less stressful. And I grew that account in the 3 XFAs up. I got transferred to live, and then I continue to trade live, and I continue to trade combines and XFAs, and I could just continue to grow the live account and snowball it up to taking a big payout. And then in August, when I switched over to this new platform, Topstep X, we had the ability to trade 5 accounts, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm going to trade 5 accounts, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did in spring, and I'm going to keep doing it until I piss somebody off. And you know what? Sure enough, I did it. I went through that process. I got the live account. I was trading the live account, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to keep doing this. Until I grew the account up to 350,000, and yeah, that's kind of how it was. So I will say combines and XFAs are easier, and it's easier for you on Psychologic, and it's a whole different ball game when you're in a live account. Truly, the best trading buddy is journaling. Yes, it is. Oh, man, talking a lot. I am just not used to talking so much every single day. Still, it's something you just don't get used to. Rooster, do you trade the Nikkei also during the New York session? No, I trade the NASDAQ. NASDAQ during the New York session. I'm mainly the NASDAQ trader. I am. You see me, you'll catch me in a Nikkei trade every once in a while. And you can see we are we bounced. We had a nice bounce there, but Nikkei is the main market, or Nikkei I will trade at night during slow markets, but during the New York session, NASDAQ. Definitely the NASDAQ. Yeah, this is a strong level of support, right? Because this is where we opened. This is Friday nights or Friday's close. That's interesting. Is that interesting? Look, so if we take a look at Friday's close right here, right? Fridays, there's major support. And that just so happens to be where we closed on Monday. And that's very interesting. And then we bounced off that. Yeah, that's basically technicals, Craig. It's technical analysis is what I do. That's and risk management. Technical analysis and risk management. Do I recommend someone starting with 3 50K accounts or one 150K account? I would recommend someone starting with one 50K account. Anthony, just try one 50K account. Don't put money into too much. And get comfortable, get used to it. And then as you go through and you feel comfortable in your process and you feel comfortable in following your process, then you can start to maybe try a 150K account. I will always tell traders it's a whole lot better just to start with the cheapest one, 150, or not 150, one 50K account. So a single 50K account, and practice. If you're brand new and if you're learning how to trade, that's the way you do it. Now, of course, it's going to be very independent on each individual, because if somebody's coming in with like a year's worth of experience and they have some money to trade a bigger account, then sure, go ahead. If somebody is coming with it really depends, because we have, number one, we have traders from around the world. Number two, we have traders from many levels of experience, brand new. Maybe this is your first week. Maybe this is your first month. Maybe this is your first day. And then we have traders, this is maybe on years 1, 2, or 3. And then maybe you're on year number 5, number 6, or you stop trading and now you're starting to get back into it. So there's such a wide range of traders that we have, and that we talk to every single night, and here as well. It's always better to start out with the very smallest amount that you could invest or risk, right? I would rather risk $50 and go through an emotional blow up dealing with like a stop loss or learning something the hard way. Maybe you forgot to put your stop loss in. Maybe you forgot to, maybe you accidentally entered into the wrong trade or the wrong market. And it's a lot easier to learn those issues that everybody, if you've traded for over a year, you've been there. You really have been there. Everyone, I guarantee it, everyone's forgot to put the stop loss in. Everyone has put the wrong size of trade on. I've done it. I do it all the time. I was like, oops, that's the wrong position size. Or everyone's made an emotional mistake. Everyone's traded during the news and forgot there was news. And every hurdle and emotional thing that you go through and mistake that you just have to just learn and experience, it's easier to do that without risking much. That is one of the beautiful things about a prop firm. Yeah, it's hard mentally. What's a stop loss? Yeah, Is it, what's a stop loss? $14 veil? I don't want to do math, man. I don't know what those numbers are referring to. 14 veil. $376, $818. You have to put more context to that. 14 veil. Yeah, I don't know. They just put like some equation in there. I have no idea what that means. Oh, my leaderboard stats. So here's the thing about the leaderboard stats 14 is they don't include XFAs. And the issue with that is I don't know the exact percentage, but yeah, obviously a big percentage of my live account balance came from combines, or not combines, XFAs, right? And it's transferred over from XFAs. And if that was on there, I'm not. There's no way I'd ever be able to go through and calculate all those statistics for each XFA that I have that was copy trade or any of that. So that might be a little bit skewed. I haven't looked at the numbers on the big board, so I couldn't give you a correct answer. You can't so you can no longer trade XFAs and a live account at the same time. Yes, that is the reality. If we could, I would. If I could trade my live account and then trade XFAs on the side, 100% I would. I would. What platform do I use for my live account? Right here, my X, Topstep X. I originally do trade Ninja Trader. Like that's what I learned. That's what I have the most experience in is Ninja Traders or Ninja Trader platform and Interactive Brokers platform. However, I've really started to enjoy Topstep X. Like Topstep X is now my favorite. Mostly like it's web based. I could pull up on my phone, and it's continuing to improve. It's not a year old yet, and there's still a whole lot more to come on Topstep X. And yeah, I think everybody here is going to be excited on everything that's coming. I mean, 2025 is probably going to be one of the best years that. I mean, it's continuing to be year after year after year, better and better and better. That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind answering any questions. Just make sure to put some context just so I don't read some random math. Or for me, it was random, right? I just see a user on a YouTube chat putting in a math formula of I'd have no idea. And it wouldn't be right for me to try and answer something I don't know and make any guesses that I don't know or I can't give for a fact. I'm not going to make up something. How much do you risk before and how much do you risk now? UCLA trades. I don't know the percentage I risked before. Before I was doing it off a dollar amount, but in my live account, I do it off of a percentage. It's based off my daily loss limit. There. I think that's the better way for me to explain it. My risk is based off a daily loss limit. And my daily loss limit, $5,000. $5,000 for me in my live account. And you could do the math, right? If my live account is at $350,000, what's $5,000 of that? I don't let it get more than 1.5%. 1.5% of my live account. Yeah. 1.5. It should be 1.5. To be honest, sometimes I shouldn't risk more than 0.5% per trade, or 3/4. So there's a difference between per day and per trade. Per day, it's 1.5. Per trade, I would dare say it depends on the trade, but yeah, sometimes I'll risk the full 1.5% on a trade. Other times, I think 5 or 0.5% or 0.5% for a trade is right. Today during the New York session, I think I was risking 0.75% on that trade. Each individual trade is unique because I don't control where the stop loss is, because I've been using just a full 5 contracts, and it fluctuates. It depends on day by day, because guess what? When I lose money, the percent increases. When I make money, that percent decreases. How long have you been trading, and how long did it take you to become profitable? I've been trading now for 14.5 years, and it took me I don't know. It took me a while. It took me 3 or 4 years to be consistent. 3 to 4 years to be consistent. Mo, go on. That's not my goal. My goal is not to sell somebody on copy trading. I will advise against copy trading, because I will say if you cannot do it in one account, there's no sense on doing it in multiple. So don't copy trade. If you can't do it in one, you can't do it in two, and you can't do it in 3 or 4 or 5. That's fact. And if you can't do it in one, you can't do it in 20. I want to make sure that's true. And then if you can't do it in a live account, are you even a trader? Can you call yourself the best? Live account is the ultimate goal, no matter what. No matter what. It's all about the live accounts. Tig, you've been in it doing it for 5 years. Yeah, it's to be honest. Oh man, there's some good quotes. You know what? There is a quote that I seen the other day. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I think I posted it. You know what? I think, yeah, I did. I posted it on Twitter, on Twix, a while ago, and it was Tom Brady's speech. Tom Brady's Hall of Fame speech. Listen to that. Let me see if I could find it, and I'll link it into the chat. But Tom Brady gave such an amazing Hall of Fame speech, and it's worth listening to or watching, no matter how far along you are on your journey. Now, let me see if I could figure out how to find it. But essentially, there's no single thing. There's no difference between me and anybody else in this YouTube chat. There is not a single difference between me and anybody else in the YouTube chat. And that's a fact. The only thing is, I just didn't give up. I was persistent. I was hard-headed. And that's about it. Here it is. Yeah, I was persistent. I was, maybe some would even say dumb. Like, hey, you just don't want to give up. You don't want to give up. Regardless of losing money, you kept going up, kept going and going. And I lost money, and I went through those ups and downs. And the main difference is, I just did not give up. That was basically it. Well, not the Hall of Fame speech. Whatever speech that was. What speech was that? He's in the Hall of Fame. I thought it was a Hall of Fame speech. Was that not the Hall of Fame speech for Tom Brady? The icon on his jacket says Hall of Fame. So what was that speech then? It was his retirement speech? Oh, that makes sense. I thought it was, why did I think that? He had his patch on his chest says Hall of Fame. So maybe that's why I thought. But yeah, anyway, that's one of the best speeches I've heard in a very long time. Oh, Patriots Hall of Fame. There you go, Coach J. Coach J with the facts. And the markets just died down, just like that. Whole lot of nothing for the rest of the night. We are coming up on the end of class. Let's just get through these last few minutes, and yeah, what an interesting one. Finishing up tonight. I am finishing up tonight with a loss. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Most likely, I'm going to be starting tomorrow in the hole with a big fat loss tomorrow morning. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. I would be scratched for the day. I'd be scratched for the week. I had a good day today during the New York session. Bad day tonight during the slow market session. And as of right now, I'm scratched. $4,800 there. $4,700 to slow markets. And yeah, scratch for the week. We still have tomorrow morning. Still have the rest of the week. Yeah. I think that is where I'm going to be ending it. Remember, Coach Jay is in the chat. He's going to be joining me, as always, on Wednesdays. Joining me for Wednesdays for slow markets. That's one of my favorite slow markets on Wednesdays. And other than that, he does have the at the buzzer right after the market close. And tomorrow I'll be on TopstepTV during the day show, during fast markets. What a start to a long week. What a long week. And the first full week of the year, I'm excited. It's a great start, and a lot more to come. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to end class now, and I will see everybody bright and early tomorrow or tomorrow night. Take care, everybody, and see ya.